to listen to me shower kind of loudly because I'm showering. So, as I mentioned in a previous episode, which is this episode, because all these episodes are recorded at once, it's if you're just tuning in, it's still Saturday, February 8th, 2020, 8:42 p.m. And I'm going to turn, what I do is I turn the hot water on first. So that's the hot water going. You get the hot water going first. And then you modulate with the cold water afterwards, you know, because I'd rather get a little like burny sensation than touch cold water. And then once you're modulated correctly, you can turn the shower head on. So now, like, you gotta wait for the cold water to run out of the shower head. I don't like cold water on my body. I wasn't made for the cooler temperatures. And that feels about right. Actually, I could get it warmer. I'm gonna go adjust it warmer. Yeah, that's closer to it. Because you want to turn it so the cold water is almost off. And there are a couple ways to shower. A traditional sort of stand up and wash yourself method is pretty common. And then there's the Cirque du Soleil method, which is when you're upside down and you're on your hands and your feet are in the air. And it cleans almost as good as the classic method, but has the advantage of being Canadian. But the method that we're going to do right now, and I only recommend this method for people who have showered 4 times in the same day. So what you do is you actually get down on your knees. You get down on your knees, and you just sort of like get in the fetal position. And here, let me roll on my side. You can sort of hear my wet skin sloshing around and slapping against the walls of the bathtub, and then you just sort of like let the water sort of hit you. So it's kind of like a bath, but sadder, but it is also faster. And then what you do is you sort of like just contemplate your choices. Contemplate your choices that have brought you here. The choices that have led you to a moment where the best decision that you had to make was to shower for the 4th time that day, and to record yourself doing it, and to make your friends, the people who have supported you through both the creation of all of your art, your Pocast that you invested many minutes in, but also have supported you through both the emotional turbulence that comes with turning middle-aged and having New Year's and Christmas and your birthday all at the same place, but also a series of increasingly dire, although ultimately safe, health scares. You contemplate all the choices that led you to making those people who clearly love you listen to you in the fetal position with water, just fucking water raining down on you. Let me review the shower water. Hold on, let me get a little shower water. Yep, that's water. It's less dusty than the dust water that I had earlier, but it does have some nice warmth because it's warm, and some round fat notes of droplet, and a little bit of hard water calcium deposit in the aftertaste. Let me get down here. This is a little more uncomfortable physical position for me to be in, and I'm just gonna stay until when you're doing this method of showering, there's a lot of technique involved. It's an advanced showering system. But what you want to be sure is how do you know when you're done? And when you're showering with the standard system, you go head to toes and sort of wash yourself, and when you sort of like are scrubbing your toes off, that's when you're done. In the Cirque du Soleil system, it's obviously the opposite. When you're washing your head, you're done. And in the fetal mode system, it's a little more sophisticated. You go until the water is cold. You just stay there until the water is cold. And the first couple times you do it, it's going to be a challenge to really finish your shower. But the more you do it, not only do you get better at it, but if it's your fourth shower in the day, it doesn't actually take that long to use up all the hot water. So you can really start knocking them out. Each shower gets faster than the previous one. And in point of fact, we're getting pretty close right now. Let me turn the cold water all the way off to sort of inject the last little remnants of heat into my ashy overwashed flesh, and just hope the warmth will take it all away. Sort of be clean, physically and spiritually, but definitely the physically part. Yeah, all right. That is actually kind of chilly. So hold on 1 second. Let me turn the shower off. So that's the shower on Erik Harrison, the podcast. Let me get out. Let's try drying. I don't know if you've ever done that, but let's take this wet laptop into our wet hands, which is currently plugged in. Let's take our plugged in wet laptop in our wet hands and get out of the shower. Getting out of the fetal position shower mode is more difficult than the classic American style shower, but it is still easier than the Canadian Cirque du Soleil system. So let me just set this down, and then I dry off by just sort of like applying the towel wherever feels wet, but just sort of getting confused halfway through the process, and just sort of dripping in random places while just drying off other places to excess. So what you want to do when you're using the system is just to find the part of your body it's kind of easy to access, and just rub the towel constantly on that part of your body, and then totally forget the whole back area. Just leave that like a slick frog-like surface, and it helps. If you have, if you're like me, if you're fairly hirsute, if you have a lot of body hair, because what can happen is sort of trap moisture in your dewy fronds there, like blades of grass in the dawn, and you will never be dry. You will just go over everything, and then like you use a second towel, and still somehow you're just never dry. And then you take the towel, you just sort of brush the computer off a little bit. Get the speaker good there, the microphone. Put the pajama pants back on. We dress in the opposite order, that we got undressed. So started with a shirt, ended with the pants. Start with the pants, getting them back on. So it's a last in, first out sort of system. And then put the shirt on. What you're going to do is you're going to turn it inside out so that it's right again, and then you're going to realize that no, it was actually right the first time, and you have to turn it inside out again. And so then you'll do that, and then it comes on, and you're ready to face your day. The fetal system is very refreshing. Let's put all these things back that we made room for the computer in the shower. Let's be considerate to the other people who use this shower and didn't know until this podcast that you used it 4 times a day, or that you actually lay on the floor. Just gonna grab the plug there, and oh crap, and then head back into the living room, or excuse me, the bedroom, where we record all episodes of Penelope Pencilfucker, a podcast. Let's plug the computer back in. So just a real time, we've reached a real time description of my mundane actions, and I am realizing that I left my glasses. So hold on one second while I go back into the bathroom to find my yes, no one is in the bathroom, and my glasses are on the sink where I forgot them. So let's turn the fan on, sort of draw the steam out. Couldn't run the fan, because it would interfere with the audio quality of the shower. So here we are. I don't know where we are episode wise, but this is Saturday, February 8th, 2020, 8:56 p.m. And you know what might be fun is if we return to the Penelope Pencilfucker saga, and her adventures in the earthly realms, with her dying but trusty companion Horseface, while being pursued by the rat god of the netherworld, Lord of the bullshit dimension. That would be fun. But instead of that, what I thought we would do is something else, which is I'm going to plug in my headphones and listen to a podcast and then talk to you about the podcast that you can't hear. Sort of review the podcast. And I thought that the best podcast to pick would be this one. So what I'm going to do now is I just got my headphones in. I'm on my phone, and I'm going to listen to Erik Harrison podcast episode 1, and then just give you live commentary. So if you want to follow along to this audio commentary of an audio piece of content, what you get, it's on airplane mode, so that it wouldn't ding while we were doing this. Take it out of airplane mode. So what you got to do is you've got to load up Erik Harrison podcast episode 1 and press play now. God, my voice is just a giant pile of bullshit. Fucking A. Do I say and smack my mouth that much? Well, it is a shitty title for a podcast, Erik. That joke would make sense if you were listening to the podcast. Oh, the theme song. What is the theme song, Erik Harrison? I don't remember what I used first. The first episode. Oh, Ring of Fire. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, hold on. Let me time it right. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da da. Bum ba dum.